Good evening, Mr. President. Good evening, Mrs. Ilves. Ambassadors, ladies, gentlemen, students, and children. It is my enormous pleasure to introduce this year's recipient of the Baltic Statesmanship Award, President Tomas Hendrik Ilves. The President's life's journey started in Stockholm, Sweden, as a child of Estonian refugees, before moving to the United States, to Leonia, New Jersey. Upon completion of his bachelor's degree in psychology from Columbia University and a master's degree from the University of Pennsylvania, he spent nearly a decade in the academic field. But his strong Estonian roots and the call for freedom prompted the President to return to Europe. In the following decade, he devoted himself to sharing the values close to all of us, sharing the values of democracy. Working as a researcher, an analyst, and ultimately as the head of the Estonian desk at Radio Free Europe. On returning to Estonia, the President's public service career continued. He served as the Estonian ambassador to the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and subsequently he served as the Minister of Foreign Affairs during President Mary's tenure and again during President Rutel's term. President Ilves also served as a member of Parliament and a member of the European Parliament. He supported Estonia's membership in the European Union, and he succeeded in starting the negotiations which led to Estonia finally joining the European Union. And on September 23, 2006, he was elected the fourth President of the Republic of Estonia. Please welcome the President.
Dziękuję. Ačiū. Paldies. Aitäh. Ambassador Voss, ladies and gentlemen, all of you assembled dignitaries, let me go say it again, this time, tere õhtust, labas vakaras, good evening. I'm deeply honored to be here tonight addressing an organization and its members that has done so much to develop the ties between Estonia, Latvia, and the United States. Thank you for this honor. It is no accident that only the United States has given birth to a private foundation devoted initially to assisting and later to fostering cooperation between the three Baltic countries and the organization's country of origin and the country of origin of so many of you people. Yes, there are government-sponsored organizations elsewhere with similar goals and objectives, but the privately run and sponsored U.S. Baltic Foundation is unique. Yet it should be no surprise. The United States was one of those countries that took a principled stand on the occupation and the forcible occupation of our countries. Americans understood the value and the importance of freedom, and even more, they understood and understand to this day how precious a gift freedom is. Throughout the Cold War, it was U.S. leadership in non-recognition policy, in fact it was created by the U.S., that kept alive the hopes of Estonians, Latvians, and Lithuanians that they were not forgotten. Through the Voice of America and Radio Free Europe, where I had the privilege to work for almost a decade, the U.S. showed it had not forgotten us. And I think this needs to be kept in mind. Perhaps now it's gotten a little better, but in all of the discussions about the East Europeans being Trojan horses and being whatever they are, or we are, with regard to supporting the United States. Because we remember those people who remembered us. We remember what those people did. We also remember what a lot of other people didn't do. And unfortunately, a lot of those people are in countries that today accuse us of being pro-American. Well, we remember, and we remember who our friends were, and we remember who were not our friends. The United States has been the country that accepted so many of our parents, and us as well, when we fled from communist and Nazi terror. And it was the United States that allowed us to prosper. I look at my own family, who arrived here in the 1950s virtually penniless, and who 15 years later could send their sons to Columbia and Princeton. It is the same spirit that anyone who learns the language and accepts the rules of the game, and by dint of hard work and perseverance can become anything he or she wants, that also underlies the success of the Baltic countries today. That success, I am convinced, is miraculous. 15 years ago, when I arrived here in Washington to take up the post of ambassador, we still had Russian troops based in our countries. We were poor with 50 years of stultifying and stupefying occupation and terror behind us. The standard image of our countries was of gray people with gray lives living in gray apartment blocks. Our GDP in Estonia, at least, our GDP per capita in 1972, the first full year of re-established Estonian independence, was $702 the whole year, placing us among the poorest developing nations. Last year, GDP per capita in my country reached $20,300, surpassing Portugal, a country that was already a member of NATO and the EEC at a time when Estonia was still occupied. Nor is this the result of resource-generated income. To quote a 19th century song from my country, we have neither gold nor silver, nor do we have oil or gas. Rather, the wealth that has been generated in my country comes as a result of hard, dogged work. Ladies and gentlemen, the Baltic states are no longer transitional economies. They are no longer new democracies.